Hello, everyone, and welcome back. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington. And before we dive into today's Kiki, which is we're going to watch together the mid-season trailer for Vanderpump Rules. We're going to talk about it, and then we'll dive into more stories, everything from has Tom already cheated on Raquel? Also, Stassi Schroeder is weighing in. Katie Maloney is clapping back. So is Lala. There is a lot going on. So before we dive in, you know what to do. Go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss it when we go live. Also, be sure to share this with a friend because a kiki is always better with community. And check out the description box down below and join our newsletter. It's free. You get self-love and self-care content straight to your inbox. So with that, let's dive right on in. So, Bravo has officially dropped the mid-season trailer for Vanderpump Rules. It's spicy, it's hot. I have the trailer, so we will watch it. But first, let's go through the article from Us Weekly, and then we'll talk about it, and then we will watch the trailer together, okay? So here we go. Vanderpump Rules mid-season trailer shows Ariana Madix confronting Tom over Raquel cheating scandal. You don't deserve one effing tear from me. Caught on film. The Vanderpump Rules mid-season trailer offered the first glimpse of Ariana and Tom Sandoval's intense conversation about his affair with Raquel. In new footage from season 10, which was released on Monday, March 20th, Ariana, 37, and Tom, 40, address his bombshell cheating scandal in a tense conversation. I wish we both would have tried harder, the TomTom co-owner tells his ex-girlfriend, who replies, you don't deserve one effing tear from me. Side note, saying that I wish we both tried harder, this is where the gaslighting comes in. How can I try harder if you're not communicating to me what the actual problem is? If you're just cheating on me, feeling contempt towards me, but not actually communicating to me what the problem is, how can we try harder? Seems like she was in denial, la la land, and it seems like he was in avoidance stage. I'm gonna go do my thing with this band. I'm gonna go, hook up with every girl that I want to behind your back. So that's the gaslighting. How can I try harder if you're not telling me that there's an actual problem? Let's keep going. Viewers see Ariana seemingly screaming at Tom before he later asks if she wants anything from the kitchen. For you to die, she quips in response. The trailer also hints at Raquel's issues within the group after her hookup with Tom Schwartz. In the sneak peek clip, the California native 28 is seen sharing multiple scenes with Sandoval while her intentions are called into question by Lala, Katie, and Sheena. Ariana found out about the affair after looking at Tom's phone while he was on the stage performing his new song, a source shared with us. It's still unclear when Tom Schwartz knew or if he was blindsided. Side note, I don't think it's still unclear. I think it's pretty much a proven fact that Tom Schwartz knew all along. I think that the affair started, and I think soon after the affair started, Tom Schwartz knew. I don't think Tom Schwartz was blindsided. I don't think he was a pawn. I think that he willingly chose to help with the cover up. And he knew. He may not have agreed with it, but he knew about it. Let's keep going. The insider noted that the Missouri native and Raquel were looking forward to a future together. Keep that in mind, Candy Canes, because I'm going to show a clip in our next story about has Tom already cheated on Raquel, which sounds bizarre because we're so used to saying Tom cheated on Ariana, but keep that in mind. But let's keep going. Tom and Raquel are the real deal, the source revealed to us, noting that it isn't a regrettable fling or a one-night stand for the pair. They have confided to pals that it's love and they have fallen hard for each other. According to the source, the reality TV duo were not worried about the public response. It's no excuse for what they did and the people they hurt, but they see a long-term future together. Only time will tell if their bond can survive the backlash, the insider concluded. The cameras haven't stopped rolling since Wednesday night, and it's an understatement to say this will be the most explosive season of Vanderpump Rules ever. And mid-news of his romance with Raquel, Sandoval broke his silence after Vanderpump fans posted negative comments. We've gotten into all of that. We all know about the apologies, all of that going on. Now, this is the thing. Let's watch the trailer, okay? Let's watch the trailer together and then we'll get more into it. Here we go. 1 second, guys. Here we go.
Still to come on this season of Vanderpump Rules.
Sometimes I feel like I'm blowing.
Wow, it looks amazing. We got the space. We got the space.
Are they going to open before us?
I'm excited. I don't know what to expect.
I was the OG home-wrecking whore of this group, and then came Lala, and now here you are.
We're not divorced yet. This is my husband. He's like married with kids.
He wants to the out of Raquel.
You guys are disgusting. I want to light them both on fire. And I want you to know kind of what you've signed up for, being with him.
Should I ask Ali to marry me?
I'm so done.
Having sex like 4 times a year.
I cannot have sex with somebody who feels like a stranger.
Open relationships are tough.
This is a full-blown love affair.
I wish we both would have tried harder.
You don't deserve one tear of mine.
She saw the both of you at the Abbey together.
You don't know what's going on between us.
I don't regret our relationship.
I had so much rage in me.
You will learn how to deal with your problems.
You want anything?
For you to die.
Oof, 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 oof. That is fire, you guys. That is fire. A couple of things with that, okay? A couple of things. Number one, when Tom Sandoval says that he has contempt for Ariana, I think a couple of things have come up in the trailer. One, did you see when Tom Short said, "Oh, do you think they're going to open before us?" Referring to Ariana's and Katie's something about her sandwich shop. I think that Tom Sandoval was extremely competitive with Ariana. Don't forget, she was the one who got the cocktail book and then he hijacked it. They're trying to open up Shorts and Sandy's. It's a disaster and a money pit. And then all of a sudden, it looks like Ariana and Katie are going to open their sandwich shop before them. Obviously, we know that didn't happen. They got the spot. Shorts and Sandy's eventually opened. But I can see where that has a lot of contempt because Sandoval, again, he's very misogynistic. He's very competitive. He's very egotistical and all of that going on. Him saying them only having sex 4 times a year. Well, if you're only having sex 4 times a year, then break up. Don't cheat. Don't go into business with somebody. Don't buy a $2 million house just so you can use the equity on the house for your own restaurant. That's financial abuse. Did you, like, to me, I'm like, did Tom only get the house with Ariana because he needed both of them in order to qualify for the house and then use the equity in the house to go towards his restaurant? Because if you don't see your future with someone, it's a marriage of convenience, or a relationship, he said, of convenience. You have contempt. You only have sex 4 times a year. So are you using them for credit? Are you using them for money? Are you using them for a down payment? Are you using them for equity? Like, if it's convenient, it means you're getting something out of it. Another red flag I'm seeing in the trailer is James. Do not ask this Ali person to marry you. James, in my personal opinion, obviously I want to know what you guys think about this too. I think James needs to break up with Ali, focus on himself, stay in therapy and really work on himself. Because saying, "Oh, should I propose to Ali?" in response to this cheating stuff, you're only going to get yourself in a worse situation, James. And that's no shade to Ali. She's not my particular cup of tea, but I don't think she's necessarily like a bad person or anything. To me, it's just a very unhealthy relationship, very codependent. I don't know. It just seems like maybe she's in it for the fame and maybe he's in it because he has a very dependent personality. You see what I'm saying? I don't know. That's just what I gather from that situation. We also saw that Tom Schwartz was alluding to the fact that Ariana and Tom Sandoval had an open relationship. We're going to get into that question a little bit later into the show with another story that we're going to go over. But just quickly, since it came up in the trailer, I don't think they were in an open relationship. I think Tom Sandoval was just actively cheating on Ariana, and Ariana was just actively choosing to be in denial regarding the cheating. And I think when everybody else can see something so clearly, it's kind of like, oh, well, you must be in an open relationship because you're still with him and you guys aren't fighting about it. And I think in her mind, she was like, I would just rather pretend that he's not cheating than to actually face the fact that my partner's clearly cheating on me, right? Not just with Raquel. I don't think she knew about Raquel, but I do think she knew about other women. Do you see what I'm saying? So there's that whole situation. So I'm really interested to see how all of this is going to go down, right? Now, I thought the trailer was fire. I'm really excited to see what's going to happen in the next season, or rather in the current season, but the extended version now that they're filming everything. And I also wanted you guys, one part in the trailer that I thought was very chilling was at the very, very end. Not with Ariana saying she wants him to die, because I get it, I would feel the same way. What I'm talking about is the part when all of the castmates, I guess they're at Tom Tom or Pump, wherever the hell they are, and Lisa Vanderpump is clearly like kind of choked up and she's talking, and everybody else seems very like invested and sad and upset. And you see this smirk on Rachel's face, on Rachel's face. She kind of has this very condescending, dismissive smirk on her face. To me, she looks very sociopathic. Very, very sociopathic. So when you watch the trailer again, look for that moment, that look on her face. She looks scary as hell. She looked really, really scary as hell. So be sure to go when you watch it, look out for that. But as always, I want to know what you guys think. Put it down below. I want to know what you guys think, and stick around my candy canes, because we have a lot to cover today and we are just getting started. But before we do that, you know what to do. Go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss it when we go live. Also, be sure to share this with a friend, because a kiki is always better with community. And check out our description box down below and join our newsletter. You get free self-care content sent straight to your inbox. So with that, you guys, let's go on to our next story. All right. Now, I wanted to address the blind item allegation going around that Tom Sandoval, Ariana, and Raquel had a threesome. And as a result of this threesome, Tom Sandoval and Raquel kind of went off to their own side to start hooking up and then had an affair. Okay? This is from Dumas, and it says, the Scandoval origin story. Remember, blind items are not the truth. Blind items are allegations, they're tips. So they're always open to interpretation. They're always open to scrutiny, just like any article. When I read something in Reality Blurb, I'm not saying this is the Bible. I say, let's read it and then let's actually think about it and talk about it, okay? So that's what we're going to do. So if you can't read the screen, don't worry, I got you covered. I'm going to read it for you. It says, message, Sandoval, Ariana, and Raquel had a threesome, and Sandoval continued to pursue Raquel after that. In an interview at the Vanderpump premiere, an interviewer asked Sandoval about his, quote, open relationship. He denies it. And Schwartz says, quote, not anymore. The interviewer goes one step further and asks, if you guys ever did a throuple, anyone on the cast you'd want to be a part of it? Sandoval asks. Sandoval says, I don't know, but Schwartz says, didn't it already happen? Referring to Raquel. At that point, Sandoval gives a death stare to Schwartz, and they play it off about Lala and Ariana from seasons ago. On last night's Watch What Happens Live, Katie says she's not surprised the affair was with Rachel. Yes, there's more red flags, and that she knows a little more about the affair's origin story, but refused to say any more, getting uncomfortable saying, "I can't," biting her tongue. I personally don't believe this. This doesn't make sense. That's just how I personally feel. Now, I'm gonna do a deep dive into why I don't believe this. I think that there are certain truths to this, but I also think that there are things that just don't logically make any sense with this particular blind item. But before I do that, just as background, Ariana herself, as you can see on the screen, came out and says that they're not in an open relationship, and I'm not really that cool. That was obvious. Oh, thought that was obvious. Hashtag pump rules. And then when a fan asked her whether she was no longer bi, she responded, "Bisexual does not equal polyamorous," which is true. Being bisexual is asexuality. It means you are sexually attracted to both men and women. Being polyamorous means that you're open to having multiple sexual and or romantic partners, while still having a main relationship, right? And those are two different things. You can be bisexual and monogamous. You could be heterosexual and polyamorous. They're not the same, so I'm happy she clarified that, because I think sometimes people think that just because you're not heterosexual, it means you're just open up to anything and all thing, and that's not true, So I'm happy she clarified that. Now, the reason why I don't believe this, and to be honest, the number one reason why is I don't think Ariana is sexually attracted to Raquel. I don't see Ariana hooking up with Raquel. I don't think it's her type. I don't think she's sexually attracted to her. I don't believe it. Another reason why I don't believe this is because it just doesn't, on a gut level, pass the sniff test. It's very buzzwordy. Oh, they had a threesome, she's bi. And then after that, and if you guys had a throuple, blah, 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 blah. The way I actually took the interviewer question as, did you guys ever do a throuple? I thought it was more between Tom Sandoval and Tom Schwartz. Who would you add in? Do you know what I mean? And then, but if they were referring to Tom Sandoval and Ariana, I think the reason why Tom Sandoval gave Schwartz the death stare, not because they were talking about Raquel, but because, like they said, they were talking about how Lala and Ariana had hooked up, and Tom Sandoval felt a type of way about it. He wasn't really he wasn't into it that much when they got together. So I personally don't think that this is the Scandoval origin story, because remember, you always have to really put on our candy cane critical thinking hats and think, does this make sense? I don't really think it makes that much sense. Also, if Sandoval is, gaslighting Ariana and throwing things in her face like, oh, we only have sex 4 times a year, and she's like, well, I don't feel like having sex with a stranger, that we saw in the trailer, that doesn't track with someone who's having threesomes with their boyfriend. Oh, we only have 4 times sex 4 times a year. Oh, but what about the time we had a threesome with Raquel? Do you know what I mean? I just doesn't make any sense. It sounds very buzzwordy, like they had a threesome, open relationship, she's bisexual, he continued it, but it doesn't pass any sniff test, if that makes sense. But I want to know what you guys think. Put it down below. To play devil's advocate, if this is true, which again, I don't think it is, who cares? I think there comes a point where it's like, you got to stop kink shaming people. Who cares if they had a threesome? If it's 3 consenting adults, knock yourself out. It's still cheating. It's still betrayal. If he, outside of whatever agreement or understanding he had with Ariana, continued a sexual relationship with Rachel behind her back, that is still betrayal. That is still cheating. That is still wrong. So even if this blind item is true, which I don't think it is, who cares? You want to have a threesome, a foursome, a fivesome? Knock yourself out. Have fun. It does not negate the fact that he lied to her, had sex with this woman in her house while she was sleeping. and then played all those psychotic games with the lightning bolt necklaces and dressing up her as for Halloween and paying for her engagement party to James, right in front of his face, right? It doesn't negate all of that psychotic, narcissistic, wackadoodle stuff they did. So it's really weird to me when people are like, oh, they had a threesome and that's why you don't invite people in the bed. I mean, stop. At the end of the day, if you have a threesome with your partner or not, if your partner is going to cheat on you, they're going to cheat, whether you have it or not. And what they'll do is this. They'll gaslight you and say, well, you didn't want to do, a threesome. You didn't want to do the things like blah, blah, blah. You didn't want to do the things you knew would satisfy me. So I had to find it someplace else, right? Or they'll say, well, you had the threesome. You invited the person in our bed. So, you kind of gave me the green light to go ahead and do whatever. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. At the end of the day, if someone is going to cheat on you, they're going to cheat on you because that is who they are. It is not a reflection of who you are. You could be the most understanding, amazing person in a relationship. And if a person is going to cheat, they're going to cheat. And they're going to do what Tom does: gaslight, deflect, play the victim, and blame you. I cheated on you because ... rather than just I cheated on you, period. Right? So this whole blind item with the threesome, I'm like, miss me with this stuff. Like, first of all, if it happened, who cares? Secondly, I don't think it happened. Again, I don't think that Raquel is Ariana's type. And I also don't think that Tom Sandoval and Ariana were having sex like that for the threesome to even occur. I think this whole situation was more of short, knowing that Tom Sandoval was a cheater, pumpkin eater. And I think it was more of that than anything else. That's what I really think it was referring to, right? Okay, you guys, stick around, Candy Canes, because we are just getting started. My next story, I'm kind of surprised that I haven't seen any other publication talk about this, so I'm excited to break the news. I'm sorry to break the story, you guys, so we'll get into it. But before we do that, put it down below. What do you think about this situation? Is it time for us to stop blaming the victim? Stop blaming Ariana. You didn't have sex with him enough. On the other hand, well, you shouldn't have had a threesome with him. It's either not enough sex or too much sex. The girl can't win. At the end of the day, it was Tom who cheated, and it was Raquel who betrayed her friend. Point blank, period. And let me know what you think. Do you believe this Dumas blind item? I personally don't. I don't know. I don't believe this one. Doesn't really pass the sniff test to me. But put it down below what you guys think. But before you do that, you know what to do. Go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss it when we go live. Also, be sure to share this with a friend because a kiki is always better with community. And check out the description box down below and join our newsletter. You get free self-love and self-care content delivered straight to your inbox for free. So with that, let's move on to our next story. Oof. Okay, you guys. So this is the situation. So as we know, Kristen Doute has become Ariana's mouthpiece. Ariana has given Kristen Doute the blessing, the go-ahead, and she asked her to, do the media tours, go on the podcast, take the interviews, speak on my behalf, because as we know, Raquel and Sheena and Katie and Lala and Ariana can't say what they want to say because they're kind of under a gag rule with Bravo. That's why Kristen can go on all the podcasts and go on all the shows and say whatever she wants because she's not under contract with Bravo. She's not coming back as a full-time castmate or even like an arc. I believe she's doing a cameo, a couple of scenes with Ariana at Ariana's request. So let's get into it. Now, this is from Us Weekly, and it says Kristen Doute questions where Tom whether Tom Sandoval can make a, quote, comeback after Raquel cheating scandal on Vile's revelations. So I don't know if I'm saying his name right. Nick Vial, whatever the hell his name is. I think he was on The Bachelor. I've never watched The Bachelor, so sorry if I'm slaughtering your name, homie. So she went on his podcast and she shared a lot of information. But I think the biggest thing that she shared that nobody has been talking about is that she alleges that Tom Sandoval has already cheated on Raquel. Now, I know it sounds really weird to be like, how is he cheating on the side piece? But don't forget that after the whole, scandal broke out, they're saying, oh, we're in love. We don't regret this relationship. They've really fallen for each other. It's this long time love affair. They see a future. They really want to be together, blah, 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 right? So now that the affair is out in the open, now that he is no longer with Ariana, and they're allegedly saying that they're in love and they really want to be together, one would think that Tom is no longer having sex with other women, right? Wouldn't you think he's just being committed to Raquel? Well, maybe and maybe not. Let's listen to what Kristen had to say about the situation, and then we'll talk about it.
To become a musician.
Oh. He's not passionate about playing covers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tom Sandoval and the Most Extras. I mean, it says it right there.
It's for
attention.
And girls who are fans of the show to show up and treat him like a rock star.
Yeah. And I heard, and this is alleged, but I heard, so he had a show 2 days after all of this shit went down. And he actually went and played it, the audacity. And
I saw clips.
Yeah, and
fine.
allegedly who knows, he was probably on mushrooms and drunk and God knows what else, but went to a bar afterward, got completely smashed, and had sex with some fangirl that night. I don't put anything past him at this point.
Yeah.
It's the only thing he can do to make himself feel better about all of this.
Do you think Ariana is, I mean, it's probably a stupid question, but she must be kind of going back in her head and wondering what else?
Oh, absolutely.
What else is going on?
Yeah, absolutely.
What else have you done?
And I think something I'm very proud of her for, the girls and I have been really cautious of, especially in the beginning. I mean, God, it's only been a couple of weeks, but about.
Okay, you guys, did you catch that? So in the interview, she says to Nick that Tom Sandoval, remember when the story broke it was on Wednesday night. Tom Sandoval and the Most Extras, they were doing their concert gig, whatever the hell you want to call it, at Tom Tom. And that's when everything popped off. That's when the phone fell out of his pocket. Ariana picked it up. She looked through it. She found the sex video. Things popped off. And then that Friday, that was when he had the gig in Anaheim, remember? And that's when everybody was chanting, cheater, cheater, Ariana, Ariana. And he was like, yeah, we love her, blah, 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 being all weird. So what Kristen is saying is that on that night, Tom was on mushrooms and drunk and whatever else he was on. Again, these are all allegations. And then he, after the gig, had sex with a fangirl. So if that is true, that means he's already cheating on Raquel. And the reason why I say cheating on Raquel is only because, again, they're trying to have this front like, we really are in love. We've been together. We want to have a future together. We see ourselves together, blah, blah, blah. So if you're trying to pretend like you have this new love story, if you're trying to pretend like, you burn down your whole lives because she's the one for you, why are you, getting super messed up and then having sex with fangirls? Literally 2 days after everything blows up. The rest of the interview was interesting. It was more of the same. But to me, I was like, how come nobody's talking about the fact that he's just been outed for cheating again? And then don't forget, the very next day, that Saturday, he was caught by TMZ going into Raquel's apartment for a booty call, and then tried to lie about it and be like, oh no, he was there for filming. But we were like, they filmed earlier in the day. The photos was from the night. Also, nobody from production was there. The cast and the crew had already wrapped. That's why he was going into the back entrance, remember? So it's like, you got wasted, you had sex with a fangirl on Friday night, and then Saturday night you went to Raquel's place for a booty call? But yet this is the woman that you're so in love with and you see a future with, that you were willing to blow up your 9-year relationship for, your career and your reputation for? Boy, bye. Boy, bye. Get out of here. Get out of here. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. And I know, again, it's an allegation, but in my opinion, I believe it. I believe it. I don't think Tom Sandoval is in love with Raquel. I think Tom Sandoval is in love with the idea that she is in love with him. I think he loves the fact that she feeds his ego. Oh, Sandoval, you're so amazing. You're really in tune with yourself. You're this rock star. You have this restaurant. You're so cool. Blah, 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 blah. You know, I think that he's in love with the way that Raquel makes him feel about himself, not in love with her. You see what I'm saying? And that is his pattern. He did it to Kristen, he did it to Ariana, and he's going to do it to Raquel. But I don't think Raquel is an innocent victim. I think that she is also very sneaky and conniving and narcissistic and egotistical and plays the victim and all of that. She just thought that she was going to get away with it. But we all saw through her. And I believe what Kristen said. I think Kristen really does have that scoop. You know, I think she really does. So it's honestly quite ridiculous that he had the audacity to sleep with some, random fangirl in the height of this affair blowing up in his face. But it's not surprising. The audacity of it all. But as always, I want to know what you guys think. Put it down below and stick around my candy cans because we got a lot more stories coming up. A lot more. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you believe Kristen's allegation that Tom Sandoval is out here drunk on mushrooms, having sex with fangirls in the height of this scandal when he's alleging that, Raquel is the love of his life, worth blowing up his entire life for? I believe it. I believe it. But before you do that, you know what to do. Go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss it when we go live. Also, be sure to share this with a friend because a kiki is always better with community. Check out the description box down below and join our newsletter. It is 100% for free. So with that, let's go on to our next story. All right, this is all about Lala Kent clapping back about being called a mean girl, and she's also clapping back at Raquel, saying she is obsessed. All right, let's just dive right on in. Both of these stories are from Reality Blurb. Let's start with Lala responding to being called mean. So Lala Kent is fighting back against claims of being all over the place and mean. After gossiping about Raquel's drunken antics with Katie and Christina on the latest episode of Vanderpump Rules and later slamming her as a liability, Lala responded to a podcast host who suggested she was acting out in response to her custody drama with ex-fiancé Randall Emmett, which hasn't yet been much of a storyline on season 10. Lala is all over the place. Ryan Bailey, host of So Bad It's Good, wrote on Instagram on March 16th, "Bye wig, hello drama," mentioned that Lala is still mad at Randall and that anger is potentially coming out in other places. "I personally wish we would get more of that storyline of the Randall of it all. It just would add more context of what Lala is actually going through during that time in filming and why she punches down a lot." Also, he added, Raquel turned out to be awful, but if this information hadn't dropped yet, it would have painted Raquel as a complete underdog you root for instead of the creep she turned out to be. Following the post, Lala shared an Instagram story in which she included Ryan's message and asked, why do you have to keep schooling people on life? She then highlighted 4 points. Number 1, my situation is delicate and there are legal aspects involved. Although I shared it all, who knows what will be put in the season. I do know one day everything that I'm dealing with behind the scenes will be revealed, Lala wrote. I'm going to say this. I agree with Lala on this because number 1, the Tom Sandoval and Ariana and Raquel versus Scandal versus Randall and Lala situation are apples to oranges. You can't compare the two. When it comes to like the scandal of it all, I'm not talking about cheating, blah, 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 whatever. I'm not talking about that because Lala is in a custody battle for her child. And I think the moment you have a child, not just a child, but like an infant, I think Ocean just turned like 2. When you have a toddler, when you have a child, and you are fighting for the custody of your child, that kind of trumps the BS we're talking about when it comes to Tom Sandoval having a midlife crisis and having sex with anything that will allow him to, and Raquel being a weirdo, narcissist, egotistical person. And I'm not dismissing Ariana's pain because I feel for her and I want her to heal and just come out on top and swinging on it. But it is a different situation when you are fighting for custody for your child. It's also a different situation when the person you're fighting, yeah, he may be a fraudster, but he still has friends in high places. He still has access to a lot of money. He still is very influential and powerful in certain circles. And when he has been accused of doing things inappropriately with, children or minors, it's a very different situation. So it confuses me how other people are like, oh, la this and Randall, and you're mad about this. It's apples to oranges. We can get up here and kiki about who Tom is sleeping with and who Raquel is doing that and da 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 da. But when there's a child on the line, it's apples to oranges. And also, Lala was being very transparent. She talked about the LA Times article. She talked about, going through the custody battle and how it was like we need to have teams. And she had all that. She talked a lot about it, actually. And Lisa Vanderpump also was just like, well, how did you not know what was going on? She kind of pushed her on that. And she turned on the waterworks and started crying and everything. So she has brought it to the show. I just think that once Scandival dropped, it overshadowed everything, right? But prior to that, there was things where she was talking about the LA Times article that was very disparaging with Randall. Very disparaging, So I get that. I get where she's coming. Let's keep going. She goes to number 2. You can say all day long, if this never happened with Scandival, Lala would look mean. Some of you act so brand new to me. You know the drill by now. I've never liked Raquel. She's always triggered me. Now we know why. Now we know why. It's a big if, y'all. She continued. Agreed. It's not like she started to not like Raquel after this. Lala and Raquel have never been friends. They've always had a beef. Let's keep going. And point number 3, Lala acknowledged that she, like Raquel, has made questionable decisions while drunk. However, unlike Raquel, she was now sober. I made decisions I'm not proud of, things that I wouldn't have happened had I been clear and sober. It's not an excuse, it's fact. And unless you struggle with addiction, you won't understand. Nor does your opinion have any place on this conversation, Lala explained. Number 4, my words are intense. I got that, she went on. Things I say at times are completely out of pocket. However, words are words. I'm about actions. Raquel was full of friendly words. Her actions, not so much. And another screenshot shared by a Pump Rules fan page on Instagram, Ryan's entire post was revealed, including a message he shared on Twitter about Katie having more of a right to be upset with Raquel. Katie was completely justified in her feelings for Raquel because she admittedly was trying to make out with Schwartz. Now, Lala, on the other hand, just came off really mean, seeing no one has ever tried to steal Randall, he wrote. Throughout Wednesday's episode, Lala expressed her disgust in Raquel, telling her it was a good thing she didn't have a man to steal. As she explained, the comment was not only offensive to women, but it was downright wrong. Oof, this is the thing. Again, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I see more of Lala's perspective on this than I do of this person's, because I don't think that the actual crux of the argument is that Raquel or any woman was trying to steal Randall, and so Katie has more of a right to be mad because Raquel was trying to kiss Tom Schwartz. That wasn't really the point. The point was more of, it's not okay to shame a woman for not having, quote, a man. You know, almost like you're not good enough, you're not valuable, you're not worthy because you're alone, because you've been broken up with, because you don't have a relationship, because you don't have a man. That was really more of what the problem was with Raquel's statement. Well, at least you don't have a man to steal. That was really more of what the problem was, not actually specifically Randall versus Tom Schwartz. So to me, I'm kind of like, when they're saying it was offensive to women in general, that's really what they were talking about. And to be honest, I think it really was offensive. You know, at least you don't have a man to steal. It goes back to those societal tropes, those societal stereotypes that a woman is only as valuable as the man who chooses her, right? If she has a man, if she can keep a man, right? So that's really more of what they were talking about in this situation. So when it comes down to this, I don't know. I'm much more team Lala. I think she had much more valid points than what this person was trying to say. But that's just me. And I obviously want to know what you guys think of the situation. Also, I think it comes down to, and people are like, oh, Lala's being such a hypocrite. She made out with James, this, that, and the third. Again, this might be an unpopular opinion. Do I think what Lala and James did was wrong? Yes, 100%. If you're in a relationship with someone, if you're seeing with someone, cheating anytime is wrong. I get it, 100% not cool. I also think the only reason why Lala said something was because she kind of wanted to do a dig at Raquel. You know, you went 6 years without saying anything. You probably could have went another 6 years without saying anything. I think she wanted more of a storyline. I think she wanted drama. I think she wanted to do a little dig at Raquel. You know, I think at this point, at least up until Scandal broke, I think everybody on that show was windmilling for their job. Sheena was windmilling for her job with the whole Tom Schwartz, Raquel, Katie situation. Lala was windmilling for her job. I hooked up with James and going against Raquel and blah, blah. Everybody was windmilling for their job. So I'm not saying that what she did was right. No. But I don't think you can compare what Lala and James did to versus what Raquel and Tom Sandoval did to Ariana. I get it's wrong. I get it's cheating. I get it's not okay. But there's something just more inherently diabolical with the way Sandoval and Raquel carried on in the situation. And it's also like 6 years ago, a bunch of drunken kids having sex with a very brand new relationship versus, you know, a 40-year-old man having sex with a 28-year-old when he's in a almost 10-year relationship with someone and they own a $2 million house and they have businesses together. It just kind of, like, you know, like we also have to sort of give people the allowance of being human beings. Because every person on this planet, we've done some stuff that we're probably not proud of. But yet we're still allowed to have an opinion. We're still allowed to call people out. We're still allowed to say that's not cool, you know? if the barometer for having an opinion on a situation was you have to be a perfect, immaculate human being who has never sinned, then nobody could ever have an opinion on anything. You know? That's kind of how I feel on that one. You know, we've all done stuff. So let's call a thing a thing. All right, now let's move on to the next one. With this one, Lala Kent calls Raquel obsessed, slams Sandoval as disgusting for not safe for work video, and says he got off on creeping as lawyer talks restraining order drama. So this is from her weighing in on Heather McDonald's podcast. Ahead of next week's reunion taping, the Vanderpump Rules cast member lashed out at Sandoval and Raquel, shading Raquel as an obsessed groupie, reacting to Sandoval's not safe for video, and all of that. She says, I think Tom was getting off on creeping around, and I think Raquel was fueling his ego with a narcissistic love. Lala shared on the March 16th episode of Juicy Scoop via Us Weekly. She was a full groupie. She was obsessed. I agree with that. I think Raquel was like, how can I trade up? James doesn't have the money I thought or the clout I thought. I've used him as much as I can. How can I trade up? And in her little mind, she thought trading up was Tom Sandoval. I also think Tom Sandoval got off not just on Raquel, but I think he also got off on betraying James. I think that Tom is a little jealous of James. And you might be like, well, why? Well, I'll tell you. I do think that Tom is jealous that James is younger than him. I think he's jealous that James is more, in my personal opinion, I think James is more attractive. I'm not really attracted to any of these dudes like that, but I think that James is more attractive than Tom is. I think that he was jealous that James was living his dream, being a DJ. You know, his See You Next Tuesdays, he's DJing everywhere, and he gets paid to DJ. Where we see Tom turn 40 and started paying people to play with him. You know, Tom Sandoval and the most extras. And I'm not trying to age shame or anything like that. Like, trust me, I'm not. What I'm saying is, though, just human societal, there is a thing called a midlife crisis for a reason. You know, he's paying people to play in his band and to play these gigs, you know, trying to live out a dream he's had. And again, I'm not shaming. I think you could be 16, 36, or 66. If you have a dream, go out and get it. You know, 100%. I don't care how old you are, go out and do you. I'm talking specifically about Tom Sandoval. I think that he's wanted to have this sort of like, he wanted to be an actor. He wants to be a rock star. And he's only kind of lived that out through the reality show. Do you know what I mean? But then you see James, who is, you know, sampling with people and having his See You Next Tuesdays and has really sort of blossomed into that, you know, the white Kanye West weird crap or whatever the heck he said. You know what I mean? You know, James doing the absolute most. But he's living out that dream. So I do think that there was a part of, and also don't forget, James did betray Tom Sandoval by sleeping with Kristen. Because Tom and James were friends first. Then James had sex with Kristen. And then James and Kristen started dating. Right? And I don't think that Tom Sandoval ever got over that. I think people like Tom Sandoval, when you bruise their ego, it may take a month. It might take a year. It might take a decade. They're going to pay you back. They're going to get revenge on you. They're going to stick it to you. And I think that Tom Sandoval was playing the long con when it came to getting James back. Do you know what I mean? I think a part of paying the 12K he paid for, you know, Raquel, whatever the hell they called it, whatever stupid name it was, you know, and gave him the money for the whole proposal and then being like, nah, dude, you don't have to pay me back. I got it. I think a part of that was feeding his ego. You know, when it comes to guys' ego, you know, I paid for you to do this for your girl. You don't have to pay me back. I'm the one with the money, this, that, and a third. You know, money and men's ego go hand in hand. I think it was a way for him to dig at James. So the entire time he's giving him this money, nah, dude, I got you. But the entire time he's either having an emotional affair with his girl or he's already smashing her. Because we all know this started a very long time ago. Very long time ago. It's pretty clear that they have been in this affair for a very long time. Whether emotionally or they were actually having sex. But it's obvious, right? So that's also very evil and diabolical. Do you see what I'm saying? So I do think that Tom Sandoval wasn't just getting off on the fact that Raquel was obsessed with him. I think he was getting off on the fact that he was really sticking it to James, the younger, more attractive, in doing music, slept with your ex-girlfriend right behind your back, James, right? I do think there is a part of that. And that's why I don't really go after Lala so much when she goes after Raquel, because also I don't think that Lala is going after Raquel because of her closeness to Ariana. I think Lala is going after Raquel because of her closeness to James. Because I think we focus so much on Ariana, as we should. But I think we forget that James is also a human being. And I think that he is also really hurting. And sure, they had been broken up. Sure, he's in a new relationship. But as a human being, that still hurts on some type of level that you don't know if the person you were engaged to, the person you were with for 5 years, were they cheating on you when you were engaged? Is that why they broke up the engagement? Were they having sex with somebody that you consider your best friend? So not only did Tom Sandoval betray him, but Raquel did too. You don't have to be in a relationship with someone for them to betray you, for them to play you, for them to humiliate you, right? So I feel bad for James too. And James, if you ever hear this, do not propose to Allie because you're going through something. Please maybe just take a pause on dating anybody and really focus on your sobriety and focus on getting your mind right, focus on your own codependency issues. Because the answer to this is not getting engaged to somebody else. You already did that, remember? 3 weeks after you break off an engagement to somebody you've been with for 5 years, you move another woman in, and now you want to propose? You might want to pump the brakes, homie. Like, you just might want to pump the brakes because you too are going through something. You too was betrayed by your best friend. You too was proposed by someone that you loved, Raquel. You know? So I think Lala goes so hard. I also think that Lala has feelings for James. That's not just friendship. I think Lala and James might be endgame. By endgame, I mean once they're done trying to, hustle up and get this money, whether it's reality TV, whether it's doing whatever, whether it's, whatever the case may be, I wouldn't be surprised if like in 10 years, 5 years, they're the ones who end up together. Because I do think that they have a deep love for each other. But like James has always said, if he was more powerful, if he had more money, if he had more influence, Lala would choose him. But I think Lala was very clear that she's choosing the person with the money and the power and the influence, Randall. And then she got the okie doke when it turns out he was nothing but a big fake, phony, fraud predator, like a lot of people out here, right? Unfortunately. 50 Cent called him, the little Harvey Weinstein with less power, money, and influence, right? Oof, 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 oof. So yeah, you guys, that's a lot. But that's what I think. But I want to know what you guys think. Put it down below. What do you think about Lala clapping back and being like, listen, I'm not the mean girl in this situation, okay? I may have done some stuff, but this is what this is. This is what the situation is. Put it down below, okay? Put it down below. Also, I want to know what you guys think just in general. What do you think about James and Lala's relationship? What do you think about James and Allie's relationship? What do you think about Tom? I think a big part of the reason why Tom went so deep with Raquel was to do a big F you to James. And Raquel, with her ding-dong head, doesn't even get that. Raquel is drinking her own Kool-Aid. And Tom Sandoval is playing the hell out of her. But she's not innocent and she's not a victim. You see what I'm saying? So put it down below. Let me know what you guys think. But stick around my candy canes because we got some more stories. We got some more stories coming up, okay? But before we do that, you know what to do. Go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss it when we go live. Also, be sure to share this with a friend because a kiki is always better with community. And check out our description box down below and join our newsletter, you guys. You get free self-care and wellness content delivered straight to your inbox. So with that, let's move on to our next story. Now, Katie Maloney wants to literally set the world on fire. She is not having it. And this is the thing. I know Katie's personality, Tequila Katie. She hasn't been the most likable character, but I'm going to be honest with you. This is a chick after my own heart. She really is. And the brand new Katie, right? The brand new Katie is a chick after my own heart. I love seeing single Katie because we've never seen it. The entire series, she has always been in relationship with Tom Schwartz, babysitting him, not feeling secure in the relationship, all this, that, and the third. This is the first time that we've ever seen a single Katie. Still, she's getting out of it, in the episodes we're seeing now, they legally are still married. They're separated, but they're not legally divorced. So when Raquel is saying, I want to hook up with him, I want to kiss him, legally, that's still her husband. Okay? I'm Team Katie. I'm with her. Like, I don't live that far from West Hollywood. They don't live there anymore. But, like, if you need another witch of WeHo, give your girl a call. All right, let's dive right on in. So the first one is a report from Reality Blurb, okay? Let's dive into that. This one talks about a spat that Tom and Ariana had, and then we move into what Katie has to say. So Tom Sandoval and Ariana were reportedly involved in a Valentine's Day spat just before his alleged affair with Raquel was revealed. According to a new report, the Vanderpump Rules couple nearly 10-year relationship was hanging by a thread in the weeks leading up to their split, with Sandoval and Ariana appearing to have been involved in a public dispute at Schwartz and Sandy's, which Sandoval co-owns with Tom Schwartz. On March 6th, Radar Online shared the account of eyewitnesses who claimed Sandoval and Ariana were noticeably at odds on the February 14th holiday, with an agitated-looking Sandoval walking ahead of Ariana as they made their way out of the restaurant, and Ariana, who appeared upset, walking with a friend. As Pump Rules fans well know, Sandoval was later accused of a months-long affair with Raquel, and as sources revealed, he allegedly came clean to Ariana when confronted and confirmed he had feelings for their friend and co-star. Because the cast members had such a close-knit friendship in the years leading up to Sandoval's rumored romance with Raquel, they've been flooded with backlash from just about everyone, including their castmates. Most recently, it was Katie Maloney who spoke out against Sandoval and Raquel on Lala Kent's podcast. I can confidently say F you, Katie told Raquel on the March 15th episode of Give Them Lala via page 6. I gave you every opportunity. I was so kind to you when I didn't have to be, but I was. The fact that you didn't really step or appreciate that or recognize that, and you walked all over that and you took a giant dump on it, you're an idiot. You deserve what's coming right to you now, she added. Katie also had stern comments for Sandoval, who she said never respected or acknowledged her. I never stood a chance with him. He was always going to find fault with me, she noted. Side note, I agree 100% with this, right? Okay. First up, let's talk about the alleged Valentine's Day spat. This confirms my thoughts that I had about Raquel. I think that Raquel was tired of hiding, tired of being the side chick, tired of, just tired of being the side chick. I think she was ready to step right into the main chick role, kick out Ariana, and, show the world that she's with Sandoval. That's why I think she was, doing the stuff. Like, she was bringing the sweatshirt to Andy on Watch What Happens Live. She was wearing the BravoTv sweatshirt. She's saying Sandoval is whatever, the most attractive Tom. And I think the reason why that Ariana and Tom Sandoval were probably having a fight was because I'm sure Raquel was like, you need to spend Valentine's Day with me. I'm the one that you love. I'm the one that you want to be with. You don't even love Ariana. You guys don't even have sex. You don't even like her. You need to spend it with me. And he's probably picking a fight with Ariana to have an excuse to leave the house to go be with Raquel. You see what I'm saying? Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting, right? Now, I also agree with what Katie is saying. If you've watched the show, Tom Sandoval has always had a problem with Katie from jump. I think a part of it, he's in love with Tom Schwartz, whether it's just a platonic bromance or more, I don't know. Honestly, doesn't matter, not my business, right? But I do think he's always had a certain type of love for Tom Schwartz, and he's always felt very threatened by his relationship with Katie. And that's another reason why I think Tom Sandoval reveled in the fact that they were using Raquel as a pawn using Tom Schwartz as a decoy in his whole affair, not because he wanted cover from his affair, but because he knew it was hurting Katie. And I think he got enjoyment out of that. I think he liked hurting Katie. And I also think, and this is the sickest part, I think Tom Sandoval enjoyed the fact that Tom Schwartz was participating in hurting Katie. And that's a nuanced difference, and I'll explain it. There's one thing to get pleasure out of, I'm hurting you. There's another thing to get pleasure out of, I'm using the person that you love, but who I love, to hurt you. I think he loved the fact that Tom Schwartz was actively choosing to participate in a scheme that he knew was hurting Katie. And that to me is sick. And that is psychotic and sociopathic. Because Katie was very clear, what you're doing is hurting me. And they still continued it. It would have been one thing if Tom Schwartz and Raquel actually really were into each other and they wanted to see where it could go and explore it. But the fact that they were doing it solely to hide the fact that she was actually having sex with Sandoval is even more disgusting. Like, you're literally keeping up a lie in order to hurt somebody else. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. Dun, 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 dun. All right, let's keep going. All right, so our next story on this, it says, Katie Maloney slams psycho Joe Weinberg amid her friendship with Tom Schwartz. I will light her on fire. So this is Tom Schwartz spotted with Joe Weinberg, okay? This is them spotted together. They look pretty cozy. Allegedly, she's his, quote, roommate / new girlfriend. That's her. All right, let's dive in. Dun, 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 dun. And the Sandoval fallout continues. Amid Tom Sandoval and Raquel's affair scandal, curious fans have speculated about Tom Schwartz's involvement after his kiss with the former pageant queen. Vanderpump Rules Instagram fan account @RealVanderpump theorized on Friday, March 7th, that Schwartz's hookup with Levis was merely a cover for a secret romance with Sandoval. Yep. And his own fling with hairstylist Joe Weinberg, the 40-year-old TomTom founder's ex-wife, Katie Maloney, has seemingly reacted to the speculation. So this is what she says, okay? She says, Joe is spooky. And this is what's on the screen. I mean, none of us could stand to be around her. Her energy is on par with a crackhead, Maloney, 36, claimed via Instagram comment on Saturday, March 18th. But when Tom and I announced our divorce almost a year ago, the last thing she texted me was, Bieber loves you, I love you, and I'm so supporting of your inner thoughts and visions. Live in the moment, you're a gem, and I've always respected you. I love you, XO Joe. The Bravo star added, she is a psycho, and I will light her on fire with Rachel. The You're Gonna Love Me podcaster and Schwartz announced in May 2022 that they had separated after more than 12 years together. The divorce was finalized the following October, in which they intended to share custody of their 2 dogs. Fresh off their split, Us Weekly broke the news in August of 2022 that the Schwartz and Sandy's co-owner hooked up with Raquel at Sheena Shea's wedding to Brock. While the twosome later claimed to have only shared a kiss, Schwartz has since formed a tight friendship with Weinberg. Or Winberg, rather. Joe is a badass hairstylist. I think she's a beautiful soul. He exclusively told Us Weekly in February. We're not living together and we're not dating either, but she's just someone who I appreciate on a deep level, and she's a really cool human being, and we're just hanging out. Do you guys believe that? Do you guys believe that Tom Schwartz and this girl Joe are just hanging out? They're just platonic friends, and she stays at his apartment, and they're together all the time. Do you guys believe that? Oh my God. These guys, I tell you, that piss on your leg and tell you it's raining. You know, like they're definitely hooking up. In my opinion, they're smashing. You're not staying over as quote besties. You're not calling her a beautiful soul and the badass this and the that. She's not, staying in your house and looking like you guys just got done like morning hangover, whatever this situation is. You're smashing. You're smashing. You're smashing. He added at the time, I just got out of a 12-year relationship. I cannot be in a committed. I can't dive back into another relationship. Nobody said you're in a relationship. We just said you're smashing. Don't get it twisted. I think she crashes at your house and you guys have sex, and it is what it is. I'm not saying you guys are engaged. Okay, let's keep going. It wouldn't be fair to the other person because I'm kind of consumed with business and my family, and I'm kind of falling in love with myself all over again. Well, you need to fall in love with your business all over again because it seems like you guys are running out of money, like you said. What's going on with Schwartz and Sandy's? Schwartz ultimately did confirm in a Vanderpump Rules Season 10 deleted scene, which aired earlier this month, that he is living with the hair, quote, guru. I went to Tom's today to bring the dogs there, and in the bathroom, there's a toothbrush with lipstick on it and a pile of jewelry. Like, that is... Like, what the F is this ass? He's like, it's Joe's. Maloney told co-star Lala Kent and Raquel on March 1st episode. First of all, Kristen Doute's her best effing friend. Why isn't she staying at Kristen's down the street? Doute, 40, who was fired from Vanderpump Rules in 2022 after past racist tweets resurfaced, revealed during a podcast appearance earlier this month that she is no longer pals with Winberg after 8 years of friendship. I haven't spoken to her since July because of all this drama, she told host Nick. Over the fall, there were so many times where Schwartz, Joe, Sandoval, and Raquel were hanging out nonstop. Exactly. Joe and Tom, Raquel and Tom were double dating. Tom Schwartz knew about it the whole time. Well, maybe not the entire time, but probably like the next day. Like, you really think Sandoval is smashing Raquel for months upon months upon months and Schwartz doesn't know when the 4 of them are all hanging out? Please. I just assume it was because Schwartz and Joe are seeing each other or sleeping together and nobody wants to be a part of that. They only have these 2 people. The 4 of you are going on effing double dates. Exactly. U.S. confirmed in March that Sandoval and longtime girlfriend Ariana Maddox had separated after the Missouri native had been involved in a month-long affair with Raquel. Both Sandoval and the former Miss Sonoma County have since apologized for their actions. But we don't take those apologies, boo-boo. No, we don't. No, we don't. No, we don't. No, we don't. Oof, you guys. It's messy. It is really, really messy. Yes, it is. It is messy. Wow. Dun, 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 dun. Well, my personal opinion is this. Joe and Schwartz, they may not be an official couple, but they're smashing. I don't think he's letting her stay at his apartment out of the kindness of his heart. He has an on-call booty call. I think Kristen Doute dropped Joe as a friend when she realized that Joe was having sex with Schwartz. who was at that time still legally married to Katie, because Kristen is Katie's really good friend. You know, she's closer to Katie and nobody wanted to be a part of it. I think that Schwartz and Sandoval, Raquel and Joe were going on double dates, busting it open, smashing, having fun, doing this, that, and the third, and playing in everybody's faces. I think that Raquel hooking up with Tom was nothing but a red herring that they all put together at the expense of Katie's feelings. And it's just a mess. It's just a mess. An absolute mess. These people are evil and these people are super, super diabolical. Super, super diabolical. But I want to know what you guys think. As always, put it down below. Let me know what you think. You know, put it down. But before you do that, and stick around, Candy Cane, because I do want to take some of your Candy Cane questions and comments. But before you do that, you know what to do. Go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss it when we go live. Also, be sure to share this with a friend because a kiki is always better with community. And also check out our newsletter. You get free self-care, and wellness content sent exactly to your inbox. So go ahead and join us. So with that, let's move on to our next story. You know what? Let's talk about Stassi Schroeder. Now, I'm going to have to just, as you guys know, I used to be a Stassi stan. She was my girl. I loved Stassi. Loved her, loved her, loved her. But I can't get over the Faith situation. So I know what she did to Faith. I know her problematic stuff. I'm not excusing it. I'm not condoning it. But I'm going to put it in a compartment, compartmentalization right now. I understand it. I'm not excusing it. I'm not pretending it didn't happen. But I'm putting it in a corner right now so we can talk about Scandival, okay? So we can talk about Scandival. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into it. So Stassi is weighing in on the mess. And this is according to Screen Rant. She says, Stassi claims Tom Scandival is a new level of evil after affair. Okay, let's go. Former Vanderpump Rules star Stassi Schroeder declared that Tom Sandoval's affair with Raquel is a new level of evil. Stassi was fired from the Bravo series in 2022, but has remained in the same social circles of her former co-stars, after the shocking revelation that Tom cheated on longtime girlfriend Ariana with Raquel. Cast members from all 10 seasons of Vanderpump Rules have spoken out. Controversial VPR alum Stassi discussed the scandal on her podcast, Straight Up with Stassi. It goes without saying that I'm Team Ariana, she declared. It's not up for debate. She slammed comparisons to Jax Taylor and Kristen Doute's infidelity in Vanderpump Rules Season 2, calling Tom's actions 4 million times worse. Side note, again, I have to agree with Stassi. You know, what Sandoval and Raquel have done is way worse. Way worse. And because I also think we have to put everything into context, right? There is a different energy. There is a different vibe between people who are, you know, in their 20s, early 20s, you know, broke, hooking up with people, drunk, doing this, that, and the third, having these sort of fluid, willy-nilly relationships versus people who are like late 30s, pushing 40s with double mortgages, having been together for almost a decade, having these types of affairs and playing these reindeer games. It is different. It is. It's, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, this guy cheated on me when we were in middle school, and comparing that to your husband cheating on you when you have 3 kids, a dog, and a house. Do you see what I'm saying? It's a difference. There is a difference. And I know Stassi can be problematic. I personally, I'm so torn because I really do love Stassi, but I can't get past the Faith stuff. I can't. But that's neither here nor there. Let's keep going. Tom and Ariana were together for nearly a decade and appeared to be Vanderpump Rules' most stable couple. Now, I don't agree with that. I don't think they appeared to be the most stable couple because we all were like, what's really good? We all were like, what's happening with Tom and Ariana? To me, they didn't seem like they liked each other anymore. It, as sad as it sounds, I agree with Tom Sandoval's assessment of his relationship. It did seem one of convenience, and it did seem one of contempt. It didn't seem like they really loved each other. However, that does not negate the fact that what he did still was wrong. If you're in a relationship and you're not happy, get out of it. Don't cheat on someone for years with multiple women and then play these psycho games that you and Raquel were playing. And you sure as hell don't get into a $2 million mortgage with them so you can use the equity to fund your side project. You just break up. Recalling how difficult Jackson Kristen's portrayal of her was, Stassi expressed sympathy for Ariana's pain. On Straight Up with Stassi, she called Tom a new level of evil to do this to someone who has been nothing but a wonderful partner to you. Stassi referenced her years-long feud with disgraced Vanderpump Rules cast member Tom Sandoval, including a public screaming match after he rage-texted her over a book signing. We all knew that Sandoval was an incredibly selfish, narcissistic, and egotistical person who spent 10 years trying to convince everyone he was the good guy, she said. The best-selling author also recalled being frustrated when Tom's behavior would get a pass, claiming he was protected by Andy Cohen. That might be true, too. We all know how Andy rolls. We know how Andy rolls, right? So here we go. Despite her low opinion, Stassi was still shocked by a 7-month-long affair with Raquel. She also wondered how Andy feels about Tom now. Infidelity-related drama has always been part of Vanderpump Rules, but the scandal is different. Mere moments before the other shoe drop, Tom gushed about his long relationship with Ariana, Jackson Kristen hooking up behind Stassi and Tom's backs with a shocking twist. I just want to address this comment real quick. So Honey Bunny said Ariana could have left as well. She was letting Lala do stuff to her while riding in the car with Sandoval in the front. This is the thing. The difference between Ariana and Tom Sandoval in this situation is that Ariana did not have a months-long affair behind his back while being in an unhappy relationship. And in the episodes that we've already seen of Vanderpump Rules, Ariana knows that there's problems in the relationship, right? She says, we never see each other, we're not having sex, but she was hopeful that they could get the relationship back on track. She was like, now that the restaurant's open, maybe we can start seeing each other more, we can have more sexy times. So there's a difference between knowing that your relationship is in a rough patch and trying to get through it with your partner and being hopeful that you can get through it versus knowing that your relationship is in a rough patch and choosing to have sex with multiple people outside of your relationship, with one of those people being a very good friend to your partner, and then doing all the psychotic stuff that they were doing with the necklaces, the Halloweens, the sweatshirts, the Schwartz of it all, doing all of that stuff, right? Because relationships have rough patches. No relationship is 100 all the time. If your relationship is 100 all the time, then you're living in denial. No relationship is 100 all of the time. You can have ebbs and flows and ups and downs. It seemed like Ariana knew that there were problems, but she was hopeful they would get through it, and she also did not cheat on him. The situation between her and Lala, Tom was present when that happened, so she wasn't cheating on him behind his back. And if Tom had a problem with it, he should have voiced it to her then instead of being passive aggressive about it later. So if you do something sexually with somebody in front of your partner and they are there and they don't express to you the situation or whatever, how they're really feeling, that's not really cheating. You know, later on, Tom's like, yeah, it's not cool and blah, 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 blah. But then you need to actually communicate that to your partner. What Ariana and Lala did in the car in front of Tom is not the same as with what Tom Sandoval and Raquel have done for months, if not a year. It's not the same. It's not the same. It's apples to oranges. So yes, Ariana could have left, but I think she was hopeful that she could get her relationship back on track. What she didn't do was what Tom and Raquel did. So that's kind of where I kind of land on that one. You know what I mean? But thank you, Honey Bunny, for bringing that up, because I do think that that was a very important conversation and an important part to bring up, right? It's important, you know. It's like, oh well, she did stuff with Lala, you know, blah blah blah. But Ariana exploring her sexuality with Lala in the presence of Tom, to me, is very different than what Tom Sandoval and Raquel have done for months behind her back. Very, 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 very different. You know, if Tom didn't like it, he could have stopped it. He could have said, wait, what are you doing? You're my girlfriend. I understand you're exploring your sexuality as a bisexual woman. However, I'm not cool with Lala going down on you in front of me while you're in the backseat of a car. So if you don't have the wherewithal to communicate that to your partner in the moment, you can't then use that as emotional, you know, ammunition and throw that at somebody's face every single time. That happens a lot in relationships, right? You do something that your partner doesn't like, but your partner doesn't actually communicate with you that they didn't like it in the moment. But every time they get pissed at you, they throw it in your face again and again and again. So 5 years down the line, they're still talking about something that happened 10 years ago. It's apples to oranges. You're about to be 10 years deep with somebody and they're doing this to you, and they want to say, oh, remember that one time 8 years ago when you hooked up with a girl in front of me? Come on now. Come on now. Like, come on. You know what I mean? Like, you hooked up with a girl in front of me 8 years ago when we first started dating in a car. So that's why for the last year, I've been having sex with one of your friends behind your back. Come on. But thank you, Honey Bunny, because I do think that was a very good conversation to have. A very good conversation to have. So thank you for bringing that up. Okay. Now, what were we talking? Oh yeah, we were talking about Stassi, right? So I agree with Stassi. I agree with what Stassi is saying, you know, because again, it's like when in the show, we have to remember it's on its 10th season, right? So 10 years, 11 years. I don't know how, you know, and there was also the pandemic, so maybe they skipped a year. So these people have been going through it for the last, you know, 10 to 12 years. You know, like we said before, Katie and Schwartz were together for 12 years because they were together before the show started. So when the show started, they were already a couple. So they had been together for 12 years. That's a long time, right? That's a very, very long time. So there's a lot going on with these different relationships, you know. So I want to know what you guys think. What do you think about Stassi weighing in? There was another article about Sheena talking about the feud between Stassi and Brittany. But honestly, I'm not even going to bring that up because I personally just like don't care. This again might be an unpopular opinion, but I gotta be me. When it comes to Stassi versus Brittany, I'm obviously team Stassi. I don't really like Brittany. I know, don't come at me, you guys. This might be an unpopular opinion, but there's something about Brittany that I've never trusted. I think Brittany plays nice, but there's something about Brittany that I just don't trust. I just don't think she's this, oh, you need to rot in hell and like I don't know. There's something off about Brittany to me. There's just something off about it. Something off about it. I know Stassi's problematic. I know what she did. I'm not forgetting about it. But Stassi versus Brittany, I'm not that invested. I don't really care. Team Stassi. But that's just how I feel. That's how I know that might be unpopular. I know that might be unpopular, guys. So it's okay. This is a safe space. We can be team whoever we want to be. You could even be team Raquel. You're still welcome here. You could be team Sandoval. You're still welcome here. As long as we're all respectful, it's all good. It's all good. We can all agree to disagree. But I want to know what you guys think. Put it down below. Stick around, candy canes, because I want to take some of your candy cane questions and comments. But before we do that, you know what to do. Go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss it when we go live. Also, be sure to share this with a friend because a kiki is always better with community. And join our newsletter. You get free self-love content and wellness straight to your inbox. So go ahead and join. So with that, you guys, I'm going to drop the link in case anybody wants to come up while we take some of your candy cane questions and comments. So the chat has been lit. You guys are on fire. I love you guys. So I'm just going to start randomly at the bottom. So I know that there's been a ton of comments. So if I miss your comment, I apologize. It's not personal. I'm just starting at the very bottom so we can get into it. So let's see. Let's see. So Julius